When I think about where we're at today, technology has done a huge amount of good, but societal trust in technology is probably at the lowest point it's ever been. We have to do something about this, and that starts by putting the role of the professional right at the centre, making sure that professional is ethical, competent, and held to account. That's the only way we're going to build the trust that society needs from that technology. If I look at a commercial organisation, they have a very clear financial mandate on delivering on value to their shareholders. They've got a commercial mindset. They also want to serve their customers, right? And so the combination of those two drives them towards increasing productivity and effectiveness and using technology to create the right kind of outcomes. The best way to do that is gather more and more data. If I can get more and more data, I can improve my decision making, I can then accelerate the outcomes that get created. But you can use that data in multiple ways. There's a bro culture, there's a kind of fraternity culture which almost challenges each other to do more, and they're in search of the next billion likes, and that focus can often lead to unintended consequences, and they don't think about the potential social harm that can get created from that. There's a litany of examples where professionals have told me in confidence that they wished that they hadn't built the technology that they did. And many of them come back and say, I called this out. I called out that I don't think this is appropriate. And the issue is that the folk have nowhere to go. Right? They get told by their executives, their leaders, if you want to leave, then you can leave. I'm not going to give you a reference, etc., etc. And we'll find somebody else to do that job instead of you. Of course, they've got a family, they've got mortgages to pay, and they can't suddenly walk out the door. So they get caught in this ethical dilemma. And I think there's a huge issue in the industry of how can there be a safety net for those individuals? And so that notion of whistleblowing needs to be built and created in a way which is not just lip service, but actually has real teeth. And how do we hold the executives to account? So I think there's two mechanisms we could put in place here, right? One is, how do you know whether an individual is ethical and competent? And you can either do that through regulation, or you can do that through a de facto standard, which says, if I've signed up to a code of conduct based on these set of principles, if I do something that's not in line with that code of conduct, then my badge of competence is taken away from me. And that's part of what we do with the BCS. So as a British Computer Society member, you sign a code of ethics and you can be held to account. And there are mechanisms that we have in place today to have disciplinary actions on individuals, and we've exercised those.